Welcome to another episode of Property News. I am your host, Mano Kuzayo. Top stories for this week are SAPOA office vacancy report for Q1 2023, SANDTO'Ns $3 billion Barlow Park development forges ahead, SA provinces where home buyers get the most for their money, followed by Youth in Property Association, YIPA, and the Social Housing Regulatory Authority sign a memorandum of understanding to promote youth participation in the social housing sector. And lastly, Liberty 2 degrees, AMELIA BEATTIE recognized as one of Africa's most definitive female CEOs in 2023. In our first story, SAPOA office vacancy report for Q1 for 2023. During Q1 of 2023, SA's office vacancy rate improved yet again, seeking a new all-time high of 16.7% during Q2 of 2022. According to SAPOA's vacancy survey, the overall vacancy rate at quarter end was 15.8%, down 30 basis points quarter on quarter. The most recent survey sample comprised of 3,108 office properties across 52 nodes, including developments under construction. In our second story, SANDTO'Ns $3 billion Barlow Park development forges ahead. The $3 billion Barlow Park development, an affordable residential mixed-use precinct in Sandton, is rising out of the ground. Led by developers Atterbury and Diversity in partnership with Barlow, Twin City, and the Moorman Group, construction on its first phase began in June 2022 on its 4,100 affordable residential units in 11 apartment blocks, 5,500 square meters of retail and restaurant space in an open-air environment center, a curio school, medical center, shared office, and many more. According to Atterbury Development Manager Ruan van Rooyen, the development of the retail section is progressing, with the main retail structure already complete. The steel structure on the podium level are going up, which are now visible from the adjacent M1 highway, will soon house restaurants. The curio school building has already been complete. The first phase at Barlow Park will be available early 2024, with the curio school and the retail center opening in January 2024. Barlow Park is located on 180 Catherine Street in the financial capital of Sandton. The property enjoys prime position, edged by the M1 highway and major arterial routes heading to Catherine Street. South Africa's provinces where home buyers get the most for their money. First-time home buyers in the Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, the Free State, and northwestern part of Johannesburg get better value for their money than elsewhere in South Africa, according to the latest issue of Better Bonds Property Brief in March 2023. If you look at the table compares the difference in house prices for all buyers with those for the first-time buyers, showing that investors in 4 provinces get 20% more on their home loans. In Greater Pretoria and southeastern parts of Johannesburg, it is almost 15% more than other buyers, while the Northern Cape, the price difference is around 10%. The national average price of a home for first-time buyers based on Better Bonds home loan application for 12 months ending in March 2023 is 1.2 million, according to Carl Coetzee, the CEO of Better Bonds. First-time buyers in the Western Cape more for their home than buyers elsewhere in the country. But in terms of price difference between these and other buyers, they are getting more bang for their buck. This helps us understand why premiums are being paid in other parts of the country. Better Bonds data for March 2023 puts the average first home purchase in the Western Cape at 1.5 million. A quick research in Property 24 shows that 1.45 million will buy a one-bedroom apartment in the Gardens area of Cape Town CBD, or a two-bedroom apartment in Claremont in the southern suburbs. In the northwestern parts of Johannesburg, the average first home purchase is 1.2 million. This would secure a two-bedroom apartment in Linden or North Riding. In KwaZulu-Natal, the average price for a first-time home is 1.19 million. KZN offers first-time buyers considerable value for their money, with more than 20% difference in house prices for first-time buyers and other buyers, says Coetzee. In such areas as Morningside, Glenwood, Reservoir Hill, aspirant buyers stand a good chance of finding properties below the 1.2 million mark. The government's decision to increase the transfer duty threshold to 1.1 million could kickstart many first-time buyers' home ownership plans, says Coetzee. This threshold exempts buyers from paying transfer duties on properties that sell for 1.1 million or less. First-time buyers may also qualify for a bond in excess of 100% if they meet the bank's lending criteria. The March 2023 data released by Lifestone showing that 59% of residential homes registered at the Deeds Office are first-time buyers. In our next story, Youth in Property Association, YIPA, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Social Housing Regulatory Authority to advance the transformation agenda with the social housing sector by implementing youth to initiate and manage accredited social housing institutions and other delivery agents. The Memorandum of Understanding will be practically implemented and measured through a supportive plan that clearly outlines activities as well as timeframes that will be implemented as part of the partnership. The partnership will also seek to promote social housing as a professional route amongst the youth. This program will offer young people opportunities to gain hands-on experience in the social housing sector and provide a platform to develop their skills. YIPA will prioritize representing the interests of its members in engagements with the Social Housing Regulatory Authority. Both organizations will avail internal resources to implement joint programs and initiatives, with the project task team overseeing the implementation of the collaboration. YIPA chairperson Lwandle Mtsinya says, social housing is one of the best available tools to increase residential integration and building homes that transform people's lives. We are excited about the partnership as it helps us to actively work towards achieving our goals in this sector. YIPA will further look to support its members who are seeking to participate and venture in social housing. The signing of this Memorandum of Understanding marks an important milestone in our efforts to transform the social housing sector and create meaningful opportunities for young people in South Africa. We look forward to working closely together to implement these initiatives and create a tangible outcome that will benefit our communities. In our last story for this week, Liberty 2 Degrees Chief Executive AMELIA BEATTIE has been recognized on Africa.com's 2023 definitive list of women CEOs for the third year in a row. The data-driven list is the only of its kind in Africa that recognizes that women who lead big businesses on the continent, with big businesses being defined as a listed on one of Africa's stock exchange and having a revenue of over $100 million or a market cap of over $150 million. Harvard Business Review reports that the startling lack of diversity among CEOs of big business. To be a CEO of a large listed company in Africa is extremely rare for women, which is why recognizing them is so important. Research by Harvard Business School faculty recognizes one important factor that all women who reach the CEO spot have in common: resilience. The Africa.com list was compiled over many months through a deep research effort, starting with data provided by Bloomberg on all the listed companies in Africa. From there, the research team picked the data to meet the required size requirements, and then further determine of which of these companies had a woman at the head. The list also includes women who lead divisions of listed companies, such that the division would qualify for the list where it is a standalone entity, and the women who lead the Africa region for globally listed companies, such that the region would qualify for where their list is a standalone entity. Since listing Liberty's 2 Degrees L2D in December 2016, Beattie has been at the helm of the company. Today, L2D is co-owner in South Africa's most iconic shopping centers, namely Sandton City, Mandela Square, Eastgate Shopping Center, Liberty Promenade, and Liberty Midlands Mall, amongst others across the country. Beattie experience spans over 22 years with a deep passion for property, not only of its investment returns and brick and mortar, but for the difference it makes in people and communities it serves by creating spaces for all to belong. To mark the evolution of Africa.com definitive list of women CEO, Africa.com reached and analyzed 2,020 listed companies on Africa's 24 stock exchanges. The companies were screened for a revenue of $100 million or more, or a cap of $150 million or more, which yielded a list of 778 companies. The public website of these companies were examined to determine those women who have the title of Chief Executive Officer or Managing Director or President, and to confirm that these executives have a bottom line in profit and loss responsibilities. And that was some of the criteria that AMELIA BEATTIE had to go through to be recognized as Woman CEO of the Year for a third time in a row. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Bye.